Yes.
Just one?
No, we have 5.
Ayala?
No, that's a move up. The first 2 are move up.
Okay, all right. So let's do the move-ups. Good morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Joxander Ayala.
Excuse me, Mr. Ayala. You're here for initial appearance. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You were arrested for trafficking in oxycodone more than 25 grams, possession of cocaine, and possession of a controlled substance. I'll stay the bond. $1,500,000 on count 1, $150,000 each on counts 2 and 3. Or do you have no contact with the co-defendant, Cesar Gallardo? Good luck. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Kenneth Lyman.
Mr. Lyman, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested pursuant to a capias for criminal mischief as a subsequent offender. I'll appoint the public defender. Bond is set at $1,000. Conditions that you have no contact with the victim or any witness in the case and that you not return to the scene.
I ain't getting no affidavit on the case.
I don't have an affidavit yet either.
Like, what are they trying to say on the scene? Well,
Okay, hey, hold on, let me see if I can look that up. Just understand that today's the initial appearance. I'm just telling you why you were arrested.
sir.
And you have the right to remain silent, so everything is being recorded now, so I'm going to try to answer the question, understanding today's not a trial.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you've been charged by information with criminal mischief as a subsequent offender. It's a third-degree felony, and it just says on or about June 13th of this year that you maliciously injured and or damaged property, that being a window or a motor vehicle property of a Russwell French and Kenneth Horace Lyman.
All right.
Your Honor, I have additional information if you would. It was on or about June 13th at the Amico gas station. Allegedly, it was a mailbox thrown at a vehicle.
All right.
All right, good luck, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Ricardo Morales, Spanish interpreter. I have been previously sworn.
She's in felony.
Thank you. We'll see if we have contact with the defendant.
Sí, señor.
Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm there is connection.
All right. Good morning, ma'am. State your name, please.
Ruth Mireya Garzón.
Ruth Mireya Garzon.
Ma'am, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant. Charges of burglary of an occupied dwelling and petty theft.
Sí, señor.
And I apologize, I'm just looking at the paperwork. I will appoint the public defender. The bond on count one appears to be set at $250 according to the warrant. On count two, I'll also set the bond at $250. Order you not to return to the scene in contact with the victim. Good luck, ma'am.
Gracias, sí, señor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And
Your Honor,
that,
may the interpreter ask for the CD case number?
and that's case 22 CF 9841 AO.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Michael Carrasco.
Michael Carrasco.
Mr. Carrasco, you're here in case 22 CF 9945. You were arrested for the offenses of grand theft third degree and looks like retail theft coordinating with others. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Bond has been set in count one at $2,500, count two at $1,000. In order that you not return to the scene of the offense, the Orlando Premium Outlets, and that you have no contact with either of the co-defendants, that is being Alfredo Cabrera Perez and Luciel Valdez Perez. All right. Good luck, sir. Yes. Oh.
You can just eke out his notes, so we.
All right. Good morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Angie de Jesus. Angie de Jesus.
Angie De Jesus.
All right, Mr. Jesus, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I see that attorney Kendall Horween just filed paperwork saying that he's going to represent you in this case. All right. At this time, do you want to proceed with the initial appearance where I would set a bond in conditions of release? Or do you want to reset this matter to allow Mr. Horween to appear tomorrow?
Tomar la fianza.
Take the bond.
All right.
Your Honor, if I may, I don't, per the warrant, allegedly she broke into the home and chased him through the house with a kitchen knife. This could have been charged as a work dwelling with an assault therein, which would be a PBL. I believe Ms. De Jesus Guerrera is here on asylum, so she has very limited criminal ties to the area. I believe she's been granted citizenship, or is yet a resident alien. So state, we just ask that you take that into account when setting her bond. charge arguably could be a PBL, even though it's currently not.
All right. All right. Otherwise, you don't have any history?
I see why.
All right, I'm going to set the bond at $5,000. I am going to order, ma'am, that you have absolutely no contact with the victim, Jose Martin Cortez, that you maintain a separate residence from him. You not return to 220 West Ohio Street. No contact whatsoever, no direct or indirect. Do you possess no weapons or firearms? Consume no alcohol or illegal drugs? Good luck, ma'am.
Your Honor, may the interpreter ask for the CF number?
Yes, I apologize. That's 22 CF 8949 AO.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Johannes. Johannes.
Clarification, Your Honor.
Diógenes. Sí, correcto.
Diogenes.
All right, sir. You're here for initial appearance in case 22 CF 9960. Arrested for possession of a counterfeit license plate or sticker, having no motor vehicle registration, and not having a valid driver's license. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Bond has been set at $2,500 on count 1, $100 each on counts 2 and 3. Good luck, sir. And I believe that's all our Spanish cases.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
Ma'am, do you need a Spanish interpreter? No. Okay, all right. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Interpreter. Have a good weekend.
You are-
All right, good afternoon, ma'am. Your name, please?
Alice Carmack.
Ms. Carmack, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for prostitution.
Your Honor,
Yes.
as to the probable cause on the second violation, I believe the arrest affidavit has to have facts as to an arrest or conviction. I don't see that present here, so I would have you find probable cause for prostitution, first violation.
State?
That's fine, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. I will appoint the public defender in this matter.
Defense would also request ROR on the prostitution charges.
State would object, Your Honor. She's out on bond for a drug charge and another prostitution charge and had a failure to appear in June of this year.
All right. I'm not going to ROR you, ma'am. Given the other pending case, it looks like the second case, the drug case you've been ROR'd on. I'll take no action on that. I'll take no action on the out on bond. I'm simply going to raise the bond to $1,000.
Your Honor, State would just ask for a no return to the mapping zone.
Yeah, don't return to the mapping zone.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, did you set the new charge at 1,000?
Yes, I've raised the new bond to 1,000. I'll take no action on the two out on bonds. No return to the mapping zone. It's the, I found, there is probable cause for the prostitution, just not as a second violation. There's nothing in the affidavit. I think the statute's the same. Morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Good morning, Shantia Doherty.
Ms. Doherty, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for possession of less than 20 grams of cannabis and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Your Honor, state's going to announce a no bill.
And the state is not going to pursue the charge, so you'll be released as to this. Okay, you'll be ROR'd.
Oh, thank you.
I've already followed it up for the clerk with the formal filing.
Jonathan Fernandez refused. Fernandez refused.
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, on Jonathan Fernandez, I'll appoint the public defender, stay the bond at $250, and order no return to the Walmart. Good morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Malaysia Famond.
Ms. Famond, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for possession of less than 20 grams of cannabis.
Your Honor, state's again going to announce a no bill.
The state's not going to pursue the charge, so you'll be released ROR on this. All right? Good luck, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Sean Henry Huffman.
Mr. Huffman, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for assault on a law enforcement officer and resisting an officer without violence. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're currently out on another misdemeanor, battery and a disorderly intoxication. It looks like has that case been filed on?
It has not yet, Your Honor. It happened July 6th, I believe.
All right, so I'll take no action on the out on bond. I'll stay the bond, $500 on count one, $100 on count two. I am going to order that you not return to the Starbucks, 8013 International Drive. If you go back to that Starbucks, just expect to get arrested. You'll be right back here, okay? Good luck. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Robinson Tuck.
You're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for prostitution. I'll appoint the public defender. Bond is set at $500.
Your Honor, Mr. Robinson had a death in the family, his mother, I believe, and needs to attend the funeral. Would the court consider an ROR or at least a $100 bond?
I'm not going to consider that. He's got multiple failure to appears. It's not I'll stay at $500.
Alethea Wilcher is in the hospital, Your Honor.
Alethea Wilcher in the hospital.
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
Wilcher, I'll appoint the public defender and stay the bond at $500 and order no return to the public's 400 East Central. Good morning, sir. Your name, please? Mr. Williams, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a petty theft. I'll appoint the public defender.
Your Honor, state did convey an offer to Mr. Williams of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, and no return to the 7-Eleven at 1250 South John Young Parkway.
Your Honor, I spoke with Mr. Williams as a friend of the court, so there's no need to appoint. We went over the plea form, the state's offer, and I have a signed copy here. May I approach?
Yes. All right, Mr. Williams, I'm being handed a plea form indicating you wish to plead no contest to the misdemeanor petty theft with the agreement that you be adjudicated guilty, be ordered not to return to the 7-Eleven. You'll be given credit for the 2 days you served in jail, and I'll give you time to get the cost paid. Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
Holding up the plea form, it has your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
Did you have a chance to read, review, and understand it before you signed it?
Yes, sir.
All right, to that charge of petty theft, how do you plead?
I plead guilty, I guess.
All right, I'll accept the
contest, I'm sorry.
I'll accept no contest. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for 2 days, order you not to return to that 7-Eleven at 1250 South John Young Parkway. suspect that you were trespassed. If you go back and they see you, you're just going to get arrested. You don't want to return, okay? You've got 350 days to pay the cost, 30 days to appeal. Any appeal must be in writing. All right, good luck.
Okay.
And you got it, they'll do a set of prints on him.
Yes, well, we have to let them know. He needs to be
Jordan Price, bonded.
Thank you.
Jose.
These two bonded, okay. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Curb Blood.
Mr. Blunt, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for robbery and also for resisting an officer without violence. I'm going to appoint the public defender in these cases to represent you. On the robbery, bond was set at $2,500. Order you to have no contact with the victim and not to possess any weapons or firearms. The resisting bond will be, is set at $500. All right. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Cody Bullock.
Mr. Bullock, you're here for initial appearance on a couple of cases. I'm going to appoint the public defender in both these cases to represent you. First case you were arrested was pursuant to a warrant, charges of trafficking in methamphetamine, 28 grams or more, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. The bonds have been set at $100,000 on count one and $1,000 on count two. You were also arrested for a new charge of trafficking methamphetamines greater than 28 grams and possession of methamphetamine with intent. And bonds have been set at $100,000 or will be stayed at $100,000 on count one and $15,000 on count two. Good luck.
Your Honor, would you consider count two a subsidiary? Lowering the 15,000 to.
What's the state's position on that?
Your Honor, given that he's here on two different charges, they would ask that it be stayed as it currently is.
Yeah, I'll stay it. Morning, your name, please?
Jennifer Bergenon.
And you're here for initial appearance. I'm going to appoint the public defender. You were arrested for possession of methamphetamine, possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia. Okay. You're also out. No, I'm sorry, that's a different case. Okay. The bonds have been set at $1,000 on count one, $150 on count two, and $100 on count three. Good luck, ma'am. Bucci is mental health.
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Bucci, I'll appoint the public defender, and I'll stay the bond on the burglary at $3,500, on the criminal mischief at $500. I'm going to order him not to return to the scene, no contact with a victim or any witnesses. And I'll take no action on the misdemeanors out of county. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Manuel Bullard.
Mr. Bullard, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for carjacking with a firearm. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to stay the bond at none. If you want to bond, the attorney in Division 17 can file the appropriate motion with the judge, but at this time, it's no bond. And I'm going to order that you have no contact with any victim or witness and not to possess any firearms or weapons. Good luck, sir.
Alfredo Cabrera Perez bonded.
Cabrera Perez, bonded.
Joseph. C-A-R-R-I-E-R. First name Joseph, he bonded out.
Ebondo, thank you. Good morning, good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Frederick Dawson.
Mr. Dawson, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for possession of a controlled substance. Bond is set at $1,000. I'll appoint the public defender. I'm going to order that you not possess any alcohol or illegal drugs while this matter is pending and not to return to the scene. All right, good luck. Morning, your name, sir? What's your name, sir?
Joshua Dixon.
Mr. Dixon, you're here for initial appearance. Okay. You were arrested for possession of MDMA and providing false identification to law enforcement.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to appoint the public defender.
Yes, sir.
The bonds have been set at $1,000 on count one, $500 on count two. You're also currently out on bond on 3 other cases.
6824, the arrest was June 13th. It is not yet filed. 6605,
6604 and 6605, I see he's got returnables on both those.
yeah, 6605 is filed on, Your Honor. And 6604 as well.
I'm going to revoke the bonds on the possession of cocaine cases that you're out on bond on. On the third case, that's 22 CF 6824. I'll take no action on that. But the other two, I'm going to revoke the bonds and set them at none. All right, so you can go to the judge in that division or those divisions, and you got the public defender representing you. They can file the appropriate bond motions if you want to get back out. All right, good luck.
Octavius DeBose refused.
We'll waive, Your Honor.
All right, it doesn't appear that on the auto bond, the state hasn't filed on that. Possession of cocaine, I'll stay the bond at 1,000, appoint the public defender. No action. Morning, sir, your name, please?
What is Edward?
Mr. Edward, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for possession of cocaine. I'll appoint the public defender. Sure.
Your Honor, he does otherwise qualify for pretrial release if the court's inclined.
Okay. State, you have an objection to pretrial release?
Your Honor, state will leave within your discretion. My only concern is he has 7 failures to appear.
Yeah. All right, I'll release him on pretrial release with the condition that he not consume alcohol or illegal drugs and be subject to random testing. All right, good luck, sir. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Lonnie Fowler.
Mr. Fowler, you're here for initial appearance. Been arrested for video voyeurism. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. State, you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, it is an F2, so he is entitled to a bond. However, so just bring your attention to that he was in a custodial parent relationship to the alleged victim. So state would ask that you take that into account when setting his bond, as it was a position of trust. I believe he was her foster father, I believe. So state would just ask that you take that into account when setting his bond.
Defense?
Your Honor, he is entitled to reasonable conditions of release. We would have the court issue that.
All right, I'm going to set the bond at $5,000. I am going to order that you have no unsupervised contact with, I'm going to order no contact with any minor under the age of 18. I'm going to order no contact with the victim, that you maintain a separate residence from the victim. So if the victim is continuing to reside at the Odyssey Lake address, you're going to have to live somewhere else. But otherwise, no contact whatsoever with her, and no contact with any minors.
Your Honor, can he have a one-time return?
If she is living there, if the minor lives there, you can return one time, but you have to be escorted by law enforcement to get personal belongings. You're not to go back to her alone. You're not to contact her. Morning, sir. Your name, please? Speak in the microphone. What's your name, please?
Cesar Gallardo.
Mr. Gallardo, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for trafficking in oxycodone, more than 14 grams, and carrying a concealed firearm. Okay. This time, do you want me to appoint an attorney to represent you, or are you going to hire an attorney?
I already have an attorney. Sir.
You have an attorney, okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. State, do you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, state would just ask that you set bonds that are consistent with the bond schedule. I believe between 14 and 28 grams is 200,000, but with a weapon is 400,000. So state would ask that you set the bond accordingly.
All right, I'll set the bond at $200,000 on count one, 1,000 on count two. I'm going to order no contact with the co-defendant, Joxander Ayala. All right, good luck. Good morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Jean Johnson.
Ms. Johnson, you're here for initial appearance, but arrested pursuant to a warrant for attempted homicide, criminal mischief, and tampering with a witness, or harassing a witness that's domestic related. Okay. At this time, do you want me to appoint an attorney to represent you, or are you going to hire an attorney, ma'am?
I don't know, I thought one was supposed to have been here.
Okay. Well, if you want, we can reset the matter for tomorrow so you can have an attorney appear, or we can proceed. State, what's your position on bond?
Your Honor, count one is an F2, so she is entitled to bond. However, the allegations in the affidavit are troubling. I believe Ms. Johnson doesn't have much history, but a prior BAT DV from 2012 that I believe was null pros. But the allegations in the affidavit are concerning for the victim's safety as well as the community safety. It is alleged that she invited the victim over, to which another inhabitant of the home had the victim then trespassed from the home, and that the defendant allegedly purposely ran her over with her car and drug her for a good amount of time. The victim did have to be transported to the hospital and undergo surgery. So state would just ask that you take that into account when setting her bond. It does seem like a well thought out scheme. So state would just ask that you take that into account, as the victim did sustain
Your Honor,
pretty significant injuries.
may I speak with Ms. Johnson briefly as a friend of the court?
Sure.
Journey. Okay.
Okay, before you
Your
say,
Honor,
before you
believe
say
she's-
anything, ma'am, you have the right to remain silent. We're not here to talk about the facts and circumstances, so I think
know.
what the attorney would say is don't say anything about it. So what we're here is to determine, you had indicated you believe that you had an attorney who was going to be present today.
Right.
So you've got two options. We can either proceed with the initial appearance, hears that you're entitled to a bond, I would set a bond and conditions of release.
Okay.
Or I'll reset the matter for tomorrow, so your attorney can appear tomorrow if you believe that that's what you want. I'll give you the option, so,
We just set the bond.
okay? All right. All right, I've reviewed the affidavit, and the allegations therein. And based on that, I'm gonna set the bond at $100,000 on count one, 100 on count two, 150 on count three. I'm gonna order absolutely no contact with the victim or any witnesses in this case. All right. Contact means direct, indirect, by phone or in person, or over the internet, or text message, anything like that. Any contact at all with the victim could result in you having your bond revoked, and you'd be coming right back to jail. All right, I'm also going to order you possess no weapons or firearms. All right, good luck.
Tyreek Kazar is now available.
Your Honor, we'll waive Mr. Kassar's appearance due to mental health, but I did have a PC challenge on count one.
Okay,
As to the arrest affidavit, I think the charge is great bodily harm, but I don't believe there's anything in the arrest affidavit that would indicate something more than mere bruising. I believe the phrase in the affidavit was a piece of furniture with 4 wooden legs, which could cause great bodily harm, but I don't see any present in the affidavit, so I would have you at least find PC for Bat Leo, but without the great bodily harm enhancement.
State.
State has no objection, Your Honor. I don't see that an injury was sustained.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
State has no objection, Your Honor. I don't see that there was a broken bone, broken skin, anything that would point towards great bodily harm.
All right, so court will find not the aggravated battery, but will find battery on a law enforcement officer. I'll reduce the bond to $5,000. I'll find PC otherwise. All remaining counts, 150 each on the counts 2, 3, 4, and 100 on count 5. I'm going to order that he not return to 8651 Treasure Key Lane.
And Madam Clerk, I'm
Possess no weapons or firearms.
getting a new statute. 1 second. For Bat Leo, it will be, the battery statute is 784.03. And then the enhancement for Leo is 784.07, sub 2, sub B.
Come on up, sir. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Matthew Krasinski.
Mr. Krasinski, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for failing to appear at a plea hearing on July the 7th of this year. Charge of grand theft motor vehicle. The judge set the bond at none. All right, good luck.
No public defender appointed, Your Honor.
I'll appoint the public defender if not previously appointed. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Lenovis Lara.
Mr. Lara, you're here for initial appearance. You're arrested for grand theft motor vehicle. Okay. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. All right, the bond set at $1,000. You're also currently out on bond on a driving with suspended license.
Your Honor, State would ask that you revoke as it's alleged that he was driving in the new law offense.
You know, I was looking at that, and I thought it said that the co-defendant was driving. Did
I wasn't.
hold on, you don't need to say anything, sir. Did I miss that?
I believe Mr. Lara was in the passenger seat, then go back to Winter Garden.
In any event, I'll revoke the bond that he's out on, but I'll set a new bond also at $1,000. Order no contact with the co-defendant, James Gibson. Yeah, I'll appoint the public defender on that case also. All right, good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Anthony Maybone.
Mr. Maybone, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested in this case for failing to appear for a determination of counsel
Correct.
hearing back on July 22nd. Judge set a bond on the false imprisonment at $10,000 and the battery at $1,000. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
A moment to confer, Your Honor.
Done.
Good luck, sir. Morning, ma'am. Your name, please? Ms. Needle, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for prostitution.
Your Honor.
Third violation. I already head you off. I believe that there's not a indication as to dates of priors in the charging affidavit. Is the state asking for additional time?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so I'll find simply, I'm going to appoint the public defender. I'll find probable cause of misdemeanor prostitution, set the bond at $500.
Your Honor, would you consider ROR at least a $100 bond? She hasn't had an FTA since 2011 and has been unemployed for 8 years.
Let's see. Oh, it's more than 10 years. It's been a while. I'll ROR you, ma'am. Understand that if you don't show up for court, expect the bond to be none. All right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is there a no return to the mapping zone?
And do you know the statute for just the misdemeanor prostitution?
1 second. So an M2 prostitution would be 796.07 sub 2 sub E. E as an elephant.
Thank you.
Morning, ma'am. Your name, please? Ms. Olivera, you're here for initial appearance. Okay. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Okay, let's see. You've been arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, looks like owning or renting a structure or vehicle knowing that it's used to traffic drugs, trafficking in controlled substance,
And Your Honor, if we may be heard before you set bond amounts?
Yes.
I know the bond schedule does suggest, I believe, a $100,000 bond on count 4. However, Ms. Olivieri has assured me that she will stay in contact with our office, attend all future court dates. She does have a 3- and 4-year-old at home that she needs to take care of. So a lower bond amount would be requested. And as to the out on bond, we would have you take no action as to its tenuous connection to the new cases.
State?
Your Honor, that just further worries the state that there is a 3- and 4-year-old child within a home that allegedly has 32 pills of alprazolam weighing 15.8 grams, 31 green rectangular pills, which are allegedly alprazolam, 31 pills of, and regarding defense's argument, I believe there being children within the home is concerning due to these other items being found within the home. And I believe the bond schedule is reasonable at this time, given that she is also out on bond and arguably in violation of that bond by picking up this new law offense.
I'll take no action on the out on bond, and I'll stay the bond on count 4 at $100,000. Count 1 would be stayed at 100, counts 2 and 3 at 150 each. I'm going to set it at 100,000. Peterson bonded, thank you. Morning, sir. Your name, please? Mr. Postel, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for failing to appear. We've got a couple cases here. Failing to appear for a status hearing on July 27th on a charge of possession of cocaine. The judge set the bond at none. You're arrested on a new charge of possession of methamphetamine. That bond set at $1,000. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in both cases.
Comments, Sports, review.
Yeah, we'll waive the appearance, Your Honor. Although I did have a question for the court and their interpretation of this statute. I know the prostitution definition requires an offer of sex for hire or some indecent act. But if there's no offer for hire, is it still, I think it was an offer for an indecent act only, but not for hire, prostitute for hire? I don't know if that has any bearing on probable cause. There was language as to subsequent violations, so that's not my challenge at this time.
State, do you have any argument as to that?
Your Honor, State would just ask that, or argue that the defendant questioning the agent to show her items with the knowledge that it is to vet them would be enough for PC, maybe not for a conviction. The State would just argue that it's enough at this time and would conform to the definition of prostitution.
Yeah. The third or subsequent violation, that aspect, I would not find probable cause based on the affidavit. I would find probable cause as to the prostitution or lewdness. So I'll set the bond. I'll reduce it to $500.
Your Honor, to be candid, the affidavit does mention the defendant has been arrested over 3 times, but it doesn't say convictions. Is that what the court's saying?
There's not probable cause for the third violation.
Understood. Thank you.
Not that. So it'll be that 79607 sub 2 sub E. I'll set the bond at $500. I'll take no action on the out on bonds. And I'll appoint the public defender in all cases. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Joshua Solis.
Mr. Solis, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for burglary of a dwelling, criminal mischief. I'll appoint the public defender. Bonds be stayed at $5,000 on count one, 1,000 on count two. I'm going to order that you not return to the Crescent Lucerne Apartments. Have no contact with the victim. That you not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs.
Your Honor, state would also ask for no contact with the witness, Ms.
Or-
Chapel.
Yeah, no contact with the victim and any witnesses in the case.
Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right, good luck. Good morning, ma'am. Your name, please? All right, Ms. Summers, you're here for initial appearance. All right. You were arrested for prostitution, third violation. I'll find probable cause for the misdemeanor 79607 sub 2 sub E. I'll set the bond at $500. I'll take no action on the out on bond.
I'm not on bond.
Well, you're out on pretrial, it looks like this says you're in pretrial diversion for another, I don't know.
She was rejected out of,
She was rejected.
yeah,
Yeah, all right.
out
So
of ROR.
I'm not gonna take any action on that.
Are we appointing the out on bond case? If not,
It doesn't say, I'll appoint the public defender in all cases.
thank you.
Swenson refused.
We'll waive, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Swenson, I'll appoint the public defender, I'll stay the bonds, 2,500 on count one, 500 on count two. Order no return to the Wawa, 3951 Central Florida Parkway. Morning, sir, your name, please?
Joseph Tucker.
Mr. Tucker, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for failing to appear at a trial management conference back March 29th of this year on a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The judge set the bond at none. I'll appoint the public defender if not previously appointed.
Melanie Warren refused.
What about Oseel Valdez Perez?
He bonded, Your Honor.
He bonded, thank you. On Melanie Warren, I'll appoint the public defender and stay the bond at none for a failure to appear.
We'll waive the appearance as well, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
That's fine. Good afternoon, sir. Your name, please?
Manuel Charles Williams.
Mr. Williams, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for sexual battery by physical force with a weapon and kidnapping. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. State, do you have a position on a bond?
Yes, Your Honor, they're both first-degree felonies punishable by life. So state's requesting that you stay at both at no bond pending an Arthur hearing downtown with no contact with the victim.
Defense?
No argument at this time, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to stay the bond at none. I've appointed the public defender. So your attorney can file the appropriate motion in Division 12, and that judge will make a decision if not, whether or not to give you a bond. I am going to order in the meantime, absolutely no contact with the victim, no return to the scene, don't possess any weapons or firearms. All right, good luck, sir. All right, good afternoon, sir. Your name, please?
Gabriel Wynn.
Mr. Nguyen, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver with a weapon, possession of cannabis with intent to sell within 1,000 feet of a park, and possession of more than 20 grams of cannabis. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Bonds have been set at $15,000 on count one. Uh, 150 on count two, 150 on count three. All right. Good luck, sir.
Do we need to recall Mr. Weaver?
Yes,
Weaver?
I mean, I guess to let him know he's gonna have to post bond.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
If you have him out there, she said they called for him. I mean, yeah,
If you're fine telling them, then I would just set the bond at $500 instead of pretrial release, otherwise the same conditions. So instead of the pretrial release, it's $500 bond.
Lucas?
okay.
Oh, I've already
Had
tried,
an active warrant.
and for whatever reason, her email is not attached to her phone. So I contacted our witness from her, so someone get me a phone number for this lady, because every single one of them is her. And I'm gonna call her like, hey, take that, and you say it's a prior, anything with a prior, you have to put a case number and what the disposition of it was, because lawyers keep getting, like, pushed down, which is annoying. You know, I'm working on it because I'm aggravated too. You're gonna take the time to arrest him on that. Do it right.
What's the doc?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it'd be investigated.
Oh, man, it still makes us have to argue things, and maybe she doesn't know, but all of the prostitution ones are always like, they seem form, you know? So like, it shouldn't be that difficult to add stuff to it, I don't think.
As long as it's being worked
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Trying to make out some excuse for the day.
Yes, sir. You all have a nice weekend.
Have a bunch of them.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Andre Higgerson.
Mr. Higgerson, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a violation of probation. You were on probation for resisting an officer with violence and battery. The law enforcement officer, allegations are that you violated your probation by leaving your county of residence without permission. that you committed the new offense of driving with a suspended license, and that you failed to complete your batter's intervention program. The bond has been set at none. Do you want me to appoint an attorney to represent you in this case? Okay, I'll appoint the public defender. All right. Good luck, sir. Does he need a Spanish? Okay, is that, we only had one move up?
Only one move up.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me call the interpreter.
Your Honor,
Yes,
can I have the case number for Mr. Ocasio Justiniano?
it's 22 CF 9918.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jaime Sotomayor, certified federal interpreter, not sworn in yet today.
Swear in the interpreter?
Do you solemnly swear to translate from Spanish to English, from English to Spanish to the best of your ability?
I do. Jaime Sotomayor, certified federal interpreter.
Thank you.
Sí.
We're connected.
Good morning, sir. State your name, please.
Buenos días. Mi nombre es Kevin Omar Ocasio Justiniano.
Good morning. My name is Kevin Omar Ocasio Justiniano.
Sir, you're here for initial appearance in case 22 CF 9918. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant, multiple charges, 2 counts of burglary of an occupied dwelling, 1 count aggravated assault with a firearm that's domestic related, 2 more counts of aggravated assault with a firearm, 1 count of false imprisonment, it's domestic related, criminal mischief, 2 counts of battery that are domestic related, simple battery, and tampering with a witness to hinder communication with law enforcement. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. State, you have a position on the bonds on counts 3 and 6.
Your Honor, state we just asked that you set a reasonable bond. It doesn't appear that Mr. Ocasio has a significant criminal history. It seems fairly limited. However, he does have 2 out on bond cases. Just that we just ask that you take that into account to potentially revoke the 2020 CF 9923, as that case did occur before this case, and he was out on bond on that case.
Bond cases.
Okay, we don't have those out on bond cases. You have those case numbers?
20 CF 9923, it's a possession of oxycodone. And then he has 22 CF 1959, which is an agbat and resisting without. However, that one, the date of incident was before the incident in this case.
He's already booked in on those cases. These charges that we have today are just add-ons.
Okay, all right. All right, so we've already addressed those. Okay. Defense, position on bond on counts 3 and 6.
Just reasonable bond conditions, Your Honor.
All right, I'll stay the bonds. Count 1 will be 5,000. Count 2 will be 5,000. Count 3, I'll set at 5,000. Count 4, 2,500. Count 5, 2,500. Count 6, 1,000. Count 7, 1,000. Count 8 will be 500. Count 9, 500. Count 10, 500, and 11, 1,000. I am going to order that you have no contact with the victim or any witnesses in this case, that you not return to the scene, you possess no weapons or firearms, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Vladimir Valdez.
Marta Denise Mejia. Marta Denise Mejia.
Marta Denise Mejias.
Sir, do you need a Spanish interpreter? Okay. All right, ma'am, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for battery. It's domestic related. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. Let's swear in the witness.
I do. Vladimir Valdez.
Mr. Valdez, if Miss Rios Mejia is released, do you want to have contact with her, or do you want her to stay away from you?
Contact.
Are you in fear of her?
No.
State, do you have any questions for Mr. Valdez?
No, Your Honor, she qualifies for PTR. State has no objection.
Vince?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right. I'll release you on pretrial release with the conditions that you have no hostile contact with Mr. Valdez, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, possess no weapons or firearms.
May
Good luck, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
I wanted to say something
Well, today is the initial appearance, so this is where I set conditions of release. It's not the trial. So, I mean, if there's something you want to say briefly, I'll listen. It's honestly, it's probably not going to change anything as far as I've released her without having to post a monetary bond, just with the conditions of no hostile contact with you, no weapons, no alcohol or drugs.
I mean, my intention was to drop the charges on.
You need to contact the state attorney's office about that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Good luck, sir.
Your case number?
Yes, I apologize. That's 22 MM 5775.
5775.
Good morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Leila de Araújo. Leila de Araújo Costa.
Leila de Araújo Costa.
Ma'am, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a battery. It's domestic related. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. State, you have a position on bond.
Your Honor, she qualifies for PTR. State has no objection. She would just ask for standard DV conditions and a no return to Epcot.
Vince?
Just reasonable conditions, Your Honor. PTR is fine.
All right, ma'am, you qualify for pretrial release. I will release you on pretrial release with conditions. You have no contact with Andrew Carling. Maintain a separate residence from him. If he's residing at the shared address, you can return there one time. You get personal belongings, but and you have to be escorted by law enforcement. You're not to go back there alone. Otherwise, no contact with him. In order that you not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs while this matter is pending. And that you not return to Epcot while this matter is pending.
Your Honor, I also believe DCF was contacted.
I'm sorry?
DCF was also contacted.
Okay. And that you comply with any orders of the Department of Children and Families. Good luck, ma'am.
Case number, Your Honor?
2022 MM 5790.
5790.
Yes.
Those are all our interpreter cases. Thank you very much.
Are there any other witnesses, Your Honor?
Anybody else need a Spanish interpreter?
¿Hay alguien en el público que necesite traducción a español que vaya a ser testigo en algún caso? Levanten la mano.
Nope. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Have a nice week.
Very well, Your Honor. Is this Judge Walker?
This is Judge Duckworth.
Duckworth. Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can come on up, sir. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Tyler Swank.
I'm sorry. Say that name again?
Tyler Swank.
Oh, okay. What happened to David Rawls?
Mental health, Your Honor.
Still mental health? Okay.
We'll waive the appearance today, Your Honor.
All right. I'll appoint the public defender. It's got a city ordinance, indecent conduct. I'll just stay the bond at $250. I'll take no action on the out on bond. Hasn't been filed yet.
And Your Honor, as to Tyler Swank's case, there was an offer to resolve an adjudication of guilt and credit time served. I spoke with Mr. Swank before court and explained the offer as well as went over the plea form with him. I do have a signed plea form. If I may approach the bench.
Yes. Yeah. All right, Mr. Swank, I've been handed a plea form indicating you wish to plead no contest to the offense of disorderly conduct,
Yes, Your Honor.
and that you would resolve the case with an adjudication of guilt, credit for the 3 days you served in jail. I give you time to get the cost paid. That would resolve this matter. You'd be released on this today. Is that your understanding? Is that what you want to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Holding up the plea form, it has your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a chance to read, review, understand the document before you signed it?
Yes.
All right. To that city ordinance violation, disorderly conduct, how do you plead?
No contest.
I'll accept that. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for 3 days. You served in jail. I'll give you 350 days to get the cost paid, 30 days to appeal. Good luck, sir. Three days. Yeah. Morning, your name, sir?
David Corbett.
Mr. Corbett, you're here for initial appearance. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You've been arrested for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. It's domestic related. All right, state you have a position on bond. This is David Corbett.
Your Honor, state would just ask for a reasonable bond and no contact with the victim or his co-defendant.
All right, defense?
Just reasonable bond conditions, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to set the bond at $2,500. I'm going to order that you have no contact with the victim, Mark, your brother. Also,
Sir, the co-defendant is my brother and we live together.
okay. If you let me finish.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So regarding your brother, Mark, I'm going to order you have no contact with him. It appears that you'll live separately. Also, I'm going to order that you have no contact with the co-defendant, which is your other brother, James. I am going to order that you maintain a separate residence from him. So y'all are just going to have to work that out, where you live. But at this point, y'all are not going to live together. The co-defendants are not going to live together. And I'm going to order that you not possess any weapons or firearms, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. All right. Yes. So he's listening. So I don't know who's going to live at the Spruce Street address. That's something that's going to have to get worked out, but y'all are not going to live together. That's the word of the court. All right. Good luck, sir. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
James Corbett.
All right, Mr. James Corbett, you're here for initial appearance, arrested for aggravated battery with a with a weapon, it's domestic related. I'm going to set your bond at $2,500. I'll appoint the public defender with the same conditions as your brother. Order no contact with the victim. No contact with the co-defendant. Maintain separate residence from the victim and the co-defendant. Possess no weapons or firearms. Consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. All right. Good luck. Morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Taylor Hamby.
Ms. Hamby, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for aggravated battery with a weapon. I'll appoint the public defender and swear in the witness.
I do. Lucas Hamby.
All right, Mr. Hamby, I see you're listed as the victim in the case. If Taylor Hamby is released in this matter, do you want to have contact with her, or do you want her to stay away from you?
I would like to have contact with her.
Okay. Are you in fear of her?
I am not, Your Honor.
State, do you have any questions for Mr. Hamby?
Has anything like this ever happened before?
Never into like domestic to where someone would have to go to jail.
Has there been physical incidences between you and Miss Hamby before?
Once or twice, but there was no charges.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, sir. State, what's your position on bond?
Your Honor, State would just ask for a reasonable bond, and no hostile given the victim's testimony.
Okay, defense?
It's reasonable conditions, Your Honor.
All right, I'll set the bond at $1,000. I am going to order, ma'am, that you have no hostile contact with Lucas Hamby.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
I do apologize, but could I say something?
Understand that today's an initial appearance. I just set the bond and conditions of release. It's not the trial. So if you have a desire, whether the case be prosecuted or not prosecuted, you need to contact the state attorney's office.
I was just going to
Having
request
said that, you say whatever you want.
pretrial release.
What's that?
I was just going to request a pretrial release.
That's
She's
char-
not a
the
danger
charge
to
does,
anybody.
okay, the charge itself does not allow pretrial release. I can't release somebody on pretrial release with the charge that she's been charged with.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
So I'll set the bond at 1,000 with the condition that you have no hostile contact with Lucas Hamby, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, possess no weapons or firearms. All right? Good luck, ma'am. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Mark Polanco.
Mr. Polanco, you're here for initial appearance. Been arrested for aggravated assault with a weapon. It's domestic related. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Excuse me, state position on bond.
Your Honor, State would just ask for a reasonable bond as the victim is not here to testify.
Okay, defense.
Just reasonable conditions, Your Honor.
I'm going to set the bond at $2,500. Mr. Polanco, I'm going to order that you not have any contact with the victim, Luis Guerra, that you maintain a separate residence from him. So if he's residing at the Shenandoah Way address, you're going to have to live somewhere else. You can return there one time with law enforcement escorting you to get your personal belongings. You're not to go back there alone. You're not to have any contact with him. You're not to possess weapons, firearms, consume alcohol, or illegal drugs. All right. Good luck, sir. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Wally Dieza.
Mr. Daisy, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a battery. It's domestic related. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. State, do you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, State would just ask for a reasonable bond. I don't believe he, Your Honor, State has no objection to PTR.
All right, defense?
PTR is fine, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to release you on pretrial release with the following condition: that you have no contact with Vanessa LeBron, that you maintain a separate residence from her. So if she's residing at the shared address, if she's residing there, you're going to have to live somewhere else. You can return one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. You're not to go back there alone, not to have contact with her.
I'm sorry, mister, can you repeat that?
Sure. So I'm releasing you on pretrial release, so you won't have to post a monetary bond. Also, conditions of release are you're to have no contact with Vanessa LeBron. You have to live separately from her. So if y'all were living together and she's still residing at that same address, that Ivy Glen Avenue address, you're going to have to live somewhere else if that's where she's living. But you can return to the address one time with law enforcement with you, escorting you to get your personal belongings. Don't go back there alone. Don't have contact with her. All right?
Your Honor, I believe DCF was also contacted.
And you need to comply with any orders of the Department of Children and Families. All right? Good luck, sir. All right, good morning. Your name, sir?
Jaquan Felton.
Mr. Felton, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for battery, domestic related, and theft. Just one case. There's two, we've got two cases, two separate batteries. August the 1st, August the 17th. I'll appoint the public defender in both cases to represent you. All right. All right, and we've got a witness. Could we swear in the witness?
Yes. Engineeria Jones.
All right, Ms. Jones, I see you're listed as the victim. If Mr. Felton's released, do you want to have contact with him or do you want him to stay away from you?
Yes, contact with them.
Are you in fear of him?
No.
All right, State, do you have any questions for Ms. Jones?
Has anything like this ever happened before?
No.
This didn't occur earlier this year in March?
Yeah, but it wasn't nothing serious. It was a misunderstanding.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay, defense, do you have any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
State, what's your position on bond?
Your Honor, I see that he qualifies for PTR. So we'll leave that within your discretion. However, he has a pretty lengthy criminal history. And his juvenile offenses would still count as they are within 5 years, including several VOPs, several batteries. These two cases against Ms. Jones, and then a case from March that was a bat DV by strangulation against Ms. Jones as well. The facts being eerily similar to both of these cases. So that would be 3 incidences, March, and then 2 in August between the same victim and the same defendant. And then I believe Mr. Felton also had a 2020 agbat great bodily harm with a firearm, 2019 felony battery, great bodily harm, a 17 battery, false imprisonment. So State would just ask that you take that all into account, given his lengthy criminal history at the age of 18.
Okay. Defense?
I think PTR is reasonable, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm not going to release him on pretrial release with the history. I'm going to set the bond on, this is in 22 mm 5240. I'll set the bond on the battery at 1,000, the theft at 150. On the second battery, I'm going to set the bond at 1,000. I'm going to order no contact with Ms. Jones maintain a separate residence from Ms. Jones. You can return to the shared residence one time with law enforcement escorting you to get personal belongings. You're not to go back there alone. You're not to have any contact with her. Possess no weapons or firearms. As to both cases. All right, thank you, ma'am. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Daniel Graham.
Mr. Graham, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a domestic violence battery. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. State, do you have a position on bond?
Our state just asked for a reasonable bond. It doesn't appear he has any other violent history, at least convictions, but he did have a recent failure to appear in 2019, so state would just ask us to take that into account when setting his bond.
Defense?
Just reasonable conditions, Your Honor.
All right. I'll set the bond at $500. I'm going to order that you have no contact with Renee Bentley, that you maintain a separate residence. So if she's residing at that Collier Street address, you're going to have to live somewhere else. You can return there one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. You're not to go back there alone. No contact with her. All right. Good luck, sir. Morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Kimberly Sneed.
Ms. Sneed, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a domestic battery. I'll appoint the public defender. State, do you have a position on bond?
Just a reasonable bond, Your Honor.
She qualifies for pretrial release. Do you object to that?
No objection, Your Honor.
Defense?
PTR is fine, Your Honor.
Ms. Sneed, I'll release you on pretrial release with the conditions that you have no contact with Alfornia Sneed. Maintain a separate residence from him, so if he's residing at that Duskin Avenue address, you're going to have to live somewhere else while this matter is pending. You can return there once with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. Don't go back there alone. Don't have any contact with him. All right. Good luck. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Good morning, Lucas Weaver.
Mr. Weaver, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for domestic battery. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. All right, state, do you have a position on bond?
I believe he qualifies for PCR. State has no objection. I do see a previous DV incident from out of state, assuming it's in Ohio. However, state doesn't have access to it.
Defense?
PTR is fine, Your Honor.
All right, I'll release you on pretrial release with conditions you have no contact with Caitlin Foltz. It appears that y'all are living separately. So no contact with her whatsoever. Consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, possess no firearms or other weapons. Good luck.
Yes, sir.
All right, good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Yeah, with us, sir.
Mr. Willis, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for domestic violence battery. I'll appoint the public defender. State, you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, Mr. Willis has a pretty extensive battery DV history. I believe the last one being released from DOC in 2020 for a simple battery and DV by strangulation. He currently has an open 2022 assault DV non-arrest that has not yet been filed. The victim also being Ms. Triplett, who was the victim in this instant case. And then previous to that, he has pretty lengthy bat DV history against other victims. A 19 bat 1 prior DV, victim being Ms. Brand. A 19 tampering bat DV contempt, victim being Ms. Brand. An 18 bat by strangulation DV, bat 1 prior DV, violation of PTR, assault DV, victim being Ms. Brand. And state can continue. So state would just ask that you take all that into account when setting his bond.
Okay, defense?
Requesting just a reasonable bond conditions, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to set the bond at $2,500. I'm going to order that you have absolutely no contact with the victim.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Triplett, you maintain a separate residence from her. You can return, if you had a shared address, you can return one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings.
Yes, sir.
Don't go back there alone. Don't have any contact with her. Don't possess weapons, firearms. Good luck, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Billy Antonio Mason.
Mr. Kaysen, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for a violation of probation.
May I ask what the violation is, sir? Your Honor?
I'm about to tell you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay. So it looks like you're on probation out of Polk County. Yeah. You're on probation for burglary of a structure and criminal mischief. Allegations that you violated are that you committed new offense in Orange County, May 30th of this year, grand theft, motor vehicle.
That charge was dropped.
Also that you failed to report back in the end of May of this year.
That's because I was in jail.
Okay. Well, understand today is not the today's not the hearing on that matter. So we've got, let's see, that's, I want to make sure it's the same, 62, 52, yeah, it is, okay. So the judge in Polk County signed a no bond warrant on the violation, so they're gonna notify Polk County that you're here, they should come get you within 24 hours.
Okay.
And then they'll take you back, and then you'll see the judge in Polk County to resolve it.
Yeah, because I was in jail. Yeah.
Okay. All right, good luck, sir. Morning, ma'am. Your name, please? What's your name? Ms. Crawford, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested on a Volusia County warrant. Let's see. Regarding a violation of probation. Like probation was organized scheme to defraud, communications fraud. Judge set bond at none. So they're going to notify Volusia County that you're here. They'll come get you within 72 hours. Okay. Good luck, ma'am. Morning. Your name, please?
Magdala Jean.
Miss Jean, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested on an Osceola County warrant for charges of robbery with a weapon, petty theft.
The weapon.
There is a bond set at, total bond is $10,500. If you're able to, you can post the bond here in Orange County and be released. If you don't post the bond, they're gonna notify Osceola County, they'll come get you within 24 hours, not including the weekend, so it probably wouldn't be until Monday.
Is it possible to get the bond dropped at all?
I can't change the bond amount. When you go back, if you don't post the bond, they'll take you back to Osceola, you'll see the judge. That judge can consider whether or not to reduce the bond. All right?
Your Honor, may we be appointed as to?
I'll appoint the public defender. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Alan Matthews.
Mr. Matthews, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested on a Seminole County warrant for failing to appear at your arraignment on a charge of having no valid driver's license. The judge set the bond at $95. So if you're able to post the $95 bond, you'll be released from here with a court date to go back to Seminole County. Otherwise, they'll notify Seminole County, they'll come get you within 24 hours. All right, good luck. 24 hours. That's one day, doesn't include the weekend. So if they notified Seminole today, they probably wouldn't come get you until Monday. All right, good luck. Morning, sir. Your name, please? Sir, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested on a Osceola County warrant, a charge of lewd and lascivious molestation. Bond is set at none. I'll appoint the public defender. They'll notify Osceola County that you're here. They'll come get you within 24 hours, but it probably won't be until Monday because it doesn't include the weekend.
Monday?
I don't have the warrant. Let's see. Okay, all right. So in addition, I'll order that you have no contact with the victim, direct or indirect, phone or face-to-face, okay? Good luck. Good morning, ma'am. Come on up. Good morning. Your name, please?
Michelle Marie Ferguson.
Okay, what happened to DeAndre Bowen? Bowen refused.
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
Okay, on Bowen, yeah, he's got a bunch of cases. Let's go sort these out real quick. All right. Mr. Bowen's got a violation of probation, no bond. That's out of Orange County. I'll stay that. He's also got and I'll appoint the public defender to represent him. Also, he's got a new case, fraudulent use of personal identification information. That bond will be stayed at $2,500. He's got another case, the fraudulent use of personal identification information and theft. That bond total is $750. That'll be stayed. The last case is arrest for unauthorized presence in an unoccupied or unfinished building. Is a city case. State misdemeanors and failure to ID. Total bond is $1,000. That'll be stayed. And I'll appoint the public defender in all cases.
Your Honor, state would ask for a no return on the petty theft case and this unauthorized presence case.
Yeah, I'll order no return, no victim contact on all cases. All right, Ms. Ferguson, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for failing to appear at a status hearing back in October of 2019 on a charge of petty theft with 2 priors. The judge set the bond at none. Also, you were arrested for a violation of probation. You were on probation for, let's just make sure that's not the same. It's the same case, okay. All right. In the same case, you were also arrested for a violation of probation, failure to report, fail to remain and complete the drug and alcohol treatment, Okay, the bond set at none. All right, so they'll take you back to see the judge in Division 15. I'll appoint the public defender in this case. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
William McCarthy.
Mr. McCarthy, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for violation of probation. You were on probation for resisting an officer without violence. Allegations that you violated your probation are that you committed a new offense of battery, that you used intoxicants to excess, same date as the battery. We've got a second date of using intoxicants to excess. Failure to pay costs and fines, failure to complete your community service hours, in arrears on cost of supervision. Judge set the bond at none. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Morning, ma'am. Your name, please? Ms. Mosby, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for a violation of probation. You were on probation for grand theft. Allegations that you violated are you committed a new offense of grand theft in Osceola County. And judge set the bond at none, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. All right? Good luck, ma'am. Is the state ready for 33-day motions?
Yes, Judge.
First, I've got Emmanuel DeAndre Bullard, 22 CF 8580.
Denied, and information was filed.
'22 CF 8323 Julio Ramos.
Granted, notice non-filing.
22 CF 5066 Derek Antonio Wilkerson.
Granted, notice non-filing.
Granted. 22 CF 8609 Charles Edward Conklin.
Denied, and information was filed.
22 CF 8383 Nafis Lanier Ferguson.
Granted, it was no billed.
22 CF 8678 Andres Lopez de la Cruz.
Granted, notice non-filing.
Granted. 22 CF 8587 Kenneth Horace Lyman.
Granted, notice non-filing.
He's got a second case, 22 CF 7294.
Denied, and information was filed.
That'll be denied. 22 CF 8647 John Henry Randall.
Granted, notice non-filing.
Granted. 22 MM 4954 Mondell Sankiel Gray.
Granted, notice non-filing.
All right, and we'll start the second session in an hour. Does that work? So right at 11?
up to you. I'll put it in set.
I know. Is he coming?
I wore this dress before now. Stop. Stop that. You missing one thing, Keith. Now, what was you supposed to say? In fact. You said it this morning, Keith. David Riles? close it out. And it's- Now what can you put?
write them and just put them in that scan room, and that's it. Everything else is in the queue. I already sent an email, and everybody know, don't touch your stuff, cause Shamar gonna be working on it. Take your time, don't rush them. You're gonna be sitting there bored. Okay. Yep. Yeah, like you heard me. She didn't want me to do that in front of you. That's all that was. It is. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's too much, and I don't care what she says because we get overwhelmed when it's just us. We do. Because you don't have nobody. So she's like, oh, you never be by yourself. That's what I'm saying. Rest of it don't make sense. It's not adding up. But okay. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing. I always tell it. Okay. He did. I'm gonna get in trouble. She's probably gonna call me off. Look, I'm like, she's the only. We do so much. I'm just saying, if you get my she makes it's normal. This she won't be. They have to but I my son is 11. She's like, it isn't a phone. Given the situation, just breathe.